checking everything over. TFnation's practically upon us, only a few days away now. Let's do a hopes and fears video, shall we? Just going over the rough kind of things of what I'm looking forward to, anything that I'm not looking forward to. Then we'll have a little look at the schedule, see what we make of that. For me, the biggest thing for TFN is the people. That's what makes it. It's what separates it from any other convention. The great crowd that is always there, that I see familiar faces that I haven't seen in a year since the last one. I hope that people that are coming to it for the first time are able to make it and have a great time there. And if you're new to it, that it is just the most welcoming environment. Don't be afraid to go up to people and say hi to them. You will absolutely meet people there, and that's how I've ended up with my amazing circle of friends. It's through this brilliant convention. Hoping that everyone who is having to travel from a fair distance is able to make it in, whether that's within the UK or overseas. Next thing I'm majorly looking forward to is, of course, Tasha's annual quiz that she does. Our little group has such a fantastic time doing that every year, and I love that that's become our new tradition. I say new tradition, it's been going a good few years now. It's just got the right mix of like trivia questions but then fun stuff. I'm excited to see what rounds she's put in this time, if she's mixed it up a little bit. So very much looking forward to that. I am hoping for a very well stocked dealer room, hoping that we have the usual incredible spread of figures from all different time periods. Especially going to keep an eye out for the Blockies stand this year, after last year not knowing where they were right until the end when they'd sold out of all their stock. So they will be a priority to try and get some of the TF1 minifigs that they've done. And also seeing what tasty discounts and deals will be happening in the especially the latter end of the con, when some stores might be trying to clear off some stock and they bring in reductions. Hasn't happened for a while, but there was a time one year where a load of stuff was like 50% off on the Sunday. I was like, what? There's always a lot of good price stuff in rummage bins to find. I suppose the biggest change for us going this year will be that we are staying in the Moxie Hotel for the first time. We've walked past it dozens of times before, but never actually stayed there before, and with the Hilton prices skyrocketing compared to previous years, the Hilton has just totally priced us out of it. But for a 5-minute walk out the back and you're there on the doorstep, can't complain with that. So before we go on to the schedule of TFN, let's just address the elephant in the room of my fears for the weekend. Firstly being the Hilton itself. It seems every year something has gone wrong. The TFN cannot fault it, but the one complaint that there's ever been about the weekends, you can trace it back to the Hilton. So last year people were getting double charged for their rooms. A load of people had their budgets wiped out for the weekend. So if anything to take away from that incident is to pay for your booking either in advance before you get to the hotel, or pay for it in cash. There are times it feels like the Hilton staff treat TFN goers differently to the other events, like when we've had the weekend crossovers with either the quilting event or the salsa dancing. Salsa dancers one year got discount for the hotel car park. TFnation attendees, nothing at all on that front. Discount at the bar. One time they were getting their discounts honoured more than we were. The one major negative that I do want to address is the early entry. It's really changed how the convention feels for me. Before, if you wanted to get in early, it was fair game to anyone, but the early entry fee for 1 hour extra, 30 quid extra, it's ludicrous. Putting it really bluntly, it puts a wealth divide between attendees. The people with the extra money to be able to pay for the early entry, they're absolutely going to, and they're going to buy up the things that would be harder to find, and then it's all gone by the time general entry opens. I would love to see it if the early entry stopped being a thing, or the price of it was significantly reduced. It goes beyond what I and many people can justify for it. Plus it eats into the time that the dealer halls open. It just feels like it's not nearly long enough that you get in there. Now that I've aired all that frustration out, let's move on to more positive stuff. Let's take a look at the schedule, shall we? And I lost all that footage from the rest of the video, so let's try that again. So Friday on the schedule, the first thing that really catches my eye is Forging Your Own Path. The artists who run their stalls in the Forge at TFN, which is like Artist Alley, and that would be really cool to hear from those guys, to see what it's like from their side of the table. Then we've got Toy Fu doing a panel looking behind the scenes at how they operate, and they are absolutely a highlight of the weekend. You've got to make sure you stop by them. They're doing amazing work raising money for Mary's Meals. They've got such a wide selection of items. Then the Triple Takeover Toy Cast, that'll be a fun one. They are doing a live episode of their podcast. Love listening to that show. That might sell me on getting a ticket for this one if they're still available. Then in the evening we've got movie options. Transformers 1, either as part of your Friday ticket, you can go along and see that in the panel room on a projector screen, or if you pay, I think it's 20 quid extra, there is a separate cinema screening in partnership with Cineworld. With that you get a bunch of like exclusive goodies and things like art prints and all kinds of stuff like that. Our squad, we're not going to be doing that. We're going to be having our traditional Friday night quiz at that point in the bar area. So kind of hoping that a lot of people go along to the movie screening to make sure that there's a bit more space in the bar to be able to get a table. And then also after that they're showing Age of Extinction for Sophia Miles being in attendance at TFnation. On to the Saturday, we've got the opening ceremony at 9 and general access opens at 10:45, so without getting early entry, perfect opportunity to go to the opening ceremony for once. The main one that's standing out for me on the Saturday is Marcelo Matera, the packaging artist who has been doing stuff since, Armada, right through till now, and he still does incredible pieces, and it is, I'd say, a big part of why a lot of these figures get sold is the beautiful artwork on the boxes. Definitely going to be really cool to hear his panel. And then other panels of note on Saturday, we've got the guests of honour with their respective panels. We've got Evan Michael Lee, Sophia Miles and Neil Kaplan on the Saturday. Scott McNeil's panel being on Sunday. We'll get around to that in a moment. Trader Hall closes at 5. Then we've got a bit of time to go have some dinner before ClubCon starts in the evening. That kicks off at 7. Got the cosplay parade that happens. That's always a load of fun. Really cool getting to see the work that everyone's put into their entries in the competition. Got the Matrix test quiz, which is difficult. In typical Matrix quiz style, it's very niche, complicated stuff that not a lot of people are going to know the answers to. So yeah, I doubt we'll do well in that, but we'll give it a go. Got the charity auction. That's always got some interesting stuff that shows up there. Definitely worth keeping an eye out on that one. So then, in the later part of the evening, we've got Transformers None, the cartoon that never was. which is a first draft of what could have been the opener for season 1 and how differently that could have all been put together. And there is a script reading that's been pre-recorded. No clue as to who is starring in that, but we shall find out. When they've done something like this before with the animated season 4 pilot, that was very impressive, the list of names that they'd managed to bring together for that project. So this, I think they will do, again, another great job. The only reservation I have about this is that it's replacing the live script reading for this year, which when they've done it previously, it's been both the live and pre-recorded that happened, at least as far as I remember. On to Sunday, not a whole lot of panels that are catching my eye. There is one about blockies, which is tempting. The main standout for Sunday's schedule is the Scott McNeil panel, which comes nicely just after the Trader Hall closes for the day, so then filter straight in there, ready to get seated for a string of panels which will see us right through to the closing ceremony, because we have Scott McNeil, ConstructorCon, which is kind of like a Q&A opportunity for giving some feedback to the team behind TFnation and to hear their side of it a little bit. So yeah, that's always an interesting one that's worth a watch. And then of course the closing ceremony, tying it all together to round it off at 6 PM, but it doesn't end there, because we've got the bar area where everyone will be hanging out and good times will be had late into the evening still. And just because the convention's over officially doesn't mean a thing. We'll still be there and we'll be enjoying all the figures that we've bought. And speaking of figures, what are we looking out for? If I can find it, the universe repaint of Optimus Primal. Really going to try and find that one, but I know he's tricky to find. Tasha has dubbed that figure David Bowie Optimus Primal because of the zigzag stripe he's got on his face. Hopefully I can find a copy of it, but I know he is a very elusive one. But something that I'd have a better chance of finding would be Legacy Magmatron. I saw that thing in hand a couple days ago for the first time, and wow, it looks incredible, so definitely want to pick one of those up. And on the subject of Commander scale figures, if there is Studio Series Ultra Magnus for a decent price, and the big budget depending one would be MPM Super Jinrai, but I've kind of already written that off because that would take out the entire budget on one figure, and I'd rather not do that. I'd rather get a few little things from the rummage bins. It's just those unexpected little figures that you would never necessarily go in expecting to find that happen to be some of the really good ones. Wouldn't mind trying to get some of the Stunticons. So a couple of different ones. The Fans Project version, if I can find Motormaster on his own, not the full combiner because I don't want to have to buy the whole one and then sell off the limbs, but if I can't get that one this year, I think I might just give up. It's been getting close to 10 years now, still not got it, so if it doesn't happen this year, maybe it's not gonna happen. Also looking at the Legacy Stunticons, if they're not too expensive, that might have to be a case of getting a full set of them and then selling Motormaster off. I've got a weird mashup there. And then a couple of the G1 Stunticons as well, which it's weird for Menasor not being my favourite combiner, but there are 3 different versions that I'm on the lookout for to try and build up. Looking out for Motormaster, Dead End, Wild Rider. Newer release-wise, we've got Hearts of Steel Twin Pack with Megatron and Bumblebee. Definitely want to try and find that if it is out. And then maybe some of the Age of the Primes bits, but not going to be too fussed about getting brand new stuff. It's more about trying to find the harder to find bits. Don't go in expecting too much and be pleasantly surprised by what you do find. And yeah, hopefully find some good stuff. But anyway, that has been my summary of, TFN 2025 hopes and fears. What are you guys looking forward to about the con? Let me know down below, and hope to see you there. Come say hi if you're there, and we'll catch you in another video.